The year was 2005. Intel's then CEO made a bold pitch to the board, a pitch to acquire Nvidia. Graphic chips that might revolutionize data centers. But the board did not agree. They did not agree with the steep price tag. So Intel passed the opportunity. 2 decades later, the tables have turned. Today, Nvidia is worth $4 trillion and it is writing Intel a $5 billion check. Nvidia has bought a $5 billion stake in Intel. The result is this: Intel stock soared 23% in a single day. Its biggest leap since 1984. For a company that is struggling, this kind of bump feels like oxygen after drowning. But here's the question on everyone's mind. Is this the start of Intel's comeback story, or is this just a temporary high? Let's look at their journey. Once upon a time, Intel was the chip maker. Its name defined Silicon Valley. The Intel Inside sticker was on almost every PC, every personal computer. Its engineers set the standard for cutting-edge processors. For decades, Intel dictated the pace of innovation, and then it stumbled. First, Intel missed the smartphone wave. Then Intel was slow to bet on artificial intelligence. Nvidia had bet early on GPUs, graphic processing units, for artificial intelligence. But Intel kept doubling down on the same things that it was doing. So it missed the AI race. By the time Intel realized this, it was no longer in the driver's seat. Others like Nvidia were far ahead. So Intel was left playing catch-up. Which brings us to the latest deal, the Nvidia-Intel deal. Nvidia needs Intel's crown jewel. That is the x86 CPUs. CPUs are central processing units. These are chips that still power most personal computers and servers. And that makes them essential for compatibility. So under the new deal, Intel will design custom CPUs. They will be tailor-made for Nvidia's AI servers. Nvidia will integrate those CPUs with its GPUs, its graphic processing units. This will create supercharged systems for data centers. So Nvidia gets better access to markets and Intel gets to stay in the game. It's a win-win for both. And there is a political subplot to this too. The US government recently took a 10% stake in Intel. So technically, the government is the biggest winner here. Washington had invested $9 billion in Intel. That investment is now worth almost $14 billion. So their stake is worth almost 50% more. Remember, Trump has openly lobbied to keep Intel alive. He sees it as a national security asset. In August, SoftBank invested $2 billion in Intel, and now Nvidia is investing $5 billion. You could say investing in Intel is also a way to curry favor with the White House, and that's what Nvidia is trying to do here. It is not just making a business deal, it is aligning itself with the Trump administration. But what does this really mean for Intel? Sure, the stock has surged. Sure, it's finally back in the headlines. But the deal does not solve Intel's foundry problem. Most of Nvidia's chips will still be built by TSMC, the Taiwanese company. This deal does not magically erase Intel's manufacturing delays or losses. At best, it buys them time. At worst, it risks making Intel a junior partner in its own industry. Think of it this way. Intel used to be the star batter in the team. Now it's the water boy, grateful to be on the field at all. Some reports suggest this could be step one towards Intel being acquired, or even for the company to be broken up. Of course, at this stage, this is all speculation, but the recent acquisitions do show a loss of control. Nvidia's stake gives it a seat at the table. The government's stake gives it a veto. SoftBank's money buys them influence. What's left is the irony of a once mighty company. It is surviving only because its rivals in Washington cannot afford to let it die. So no, Intel is not back, not yet. It may have got a lifeline, but this is Nvidia's world and Intel is just renting space in it.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
$36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka-charge.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
$4 以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.